Are there more international data registries that you think will enable quicker response to international disease outbreaks?
I think we've made progress. Flu is actually the area we've probably made the most progress in terms of global sharing. So when the MERS coronavirus hit in the Middle East, there wasn't a similar framework for sharing of specimens as there is, or genetic data as there is with influenza. But fortunately, between writing and academic articles and contacts and government relations, we now have a good sense of what's happening there. So I think we are growing in transparency globally, and it's important because we face a perfect storm of vulnerability. We are, on the one hand, better prepared than we've ever been for disease threats. On the other hand, we're also at bigger risk than we've ever been. We're at bigger risk.
How do those two things go together?
We're better prepared, we know better, we respond better, we're coordinated better, we have more political commitment because of SARS and things like what's called the international health regulations, which require countries to report conditions. But we're at bigger risk for basically 4 reasons. We've got emerging infections that continue. We get about 1 a year on average for the last 3 decades, some new, bad, deadly bug. Second, we have resistant organisms. Things like CRE, which is quick way of saying carbapenem-resistant Enterobacteriaceae.
Say it 5 more times. That's
CRE are basically deadly bugs that are resistant to just about every antibiotic we've gotten. They've come from overseas. They're now all over our intensive care units, all over the US.
By bugs, do you mean
Microbes,
virus, bacteria?
Bacteria, gram-negative bacteria specifically. So we've got emerging organisms, resistant organisms, globalization. Any virus is only a plane ride away.
Sure.
And a lot of our food supply and our medication supply comes from overseas, as Dr. Hamburg knows and addresses with the FDA. And finally, unfortunately, we've got great new tools that can protect us, but those same new tools can be used by bad people to make dangerous organisms and release them. So we have the ever-present threat of intentional release of deadly organisms. You know, we've had an anthrax attack already here in the US after 9/11, so it's not just theory that it may happen. So for all of those reasons, I think our risks are greater than ever, but our potential is greater as well.
Because?
Because we have more political commitment through SARS, through international collaboration, and we have amazing new tools, and I'll show you one of them. When I started at CDC as an epidemic intelligence service officer, no, it's not an index card. It is a chip, and I'm not selling anything for this company. It's just the only one that fits in my pocket. But this chip actually can sequence the genome of a microbe, of a bacteria or a virus in about 3 or 4 hours. It's got 11 million separate wells. With advanced computing, you then take tens of thousands of jigsaw puzzle pieces and you put them together. But we don't yet really know how to interpret it. We're just at the beginning of the genomic revolution in microbes, because we don't know which part of the genome will reliably encode for resistance for most of the organisms, or for transmissibility, what's going to be more spreadable person to person, or which part of it we can say, if that's the same between these 2 people, they're epidemiologically linked. A lot of hard work needs to go on. New technology like this is great, but in and of itself, it's not going to solve our problems. We need to put it together, not just with informatics, but also with shoe leather epidemiology, with going out and asking questions. Where did you eat? Where were you hospitalized? Where did you potentially get exposed? And that's what we need to do next.